What's up guys, in this video I'm going to show you how I make my M1 organ house sounds. This is what we're going to create today. Ready? Let's jump straight into the FL Studio project. So the key for me to getting really cool M1 organ house sounds is to layer it with other elements. So if we start out, we obviously need the classic Organ 2 preset from the Korg M1. So we find it by going to Program, Browser, then you go down to Organ and select the Organ 2 preset. Then I do some small tweakings to the sound in Insert Effect. I generally like to turn down the whole reverb a little bit. I actually have it at around 7%. Turn down the reverb time to around 2.7. For the stereo chorus, I also want to turn that down a little bit, like this. So we have this sound. Nice. Okay, so in terms of the MIDI pattern, this is in F minor. I actually just played it on my MIDI keyboard and did some retweaking inside FL Studio. So I like to use quantized swing presets. So you can see if I zoom in, these are not exactly on the grid. So it gets a little bit more of a shuffly vibe. And I like that when doing more house orientated stuff. And this is generally just to give it a little bit more of a groove, to be honest. So this is how it sounds. Pay attention to this A sharp over here. It changes. Instead of going to the F note here, F4, it goes to A sharp 3 here. And it's just to get a little bit of a change to the pattern. So it just doesn't repeat the same stuff. It's just something that I like. And you can see at the end here, it goes up to G sharp. So one other thing that I like to do is processing. So I've routed the Korg M1 to a mixer track in FL Studio. And I have added a little bit of processing. The most important one is the Replica XT, but you can use whatever delay plugin that you have at your disposal. I just like to use this one. I've actually made a video with the Replica XT that you can go and watch up here if you want to. Okay, so what I've done here is that I put this to a straight eighth with a mix at 18% and 30% of feedback. And then the cool thing about Replica XT is that you can use these different styles. So we can get a little bit of tape saturation to the delays. And I'm rolling off 240 hertz, so I don't get any like low end stuff for the delay. And also rolling up a little bit of the top end, so we get a more lo-fi kind of sound to the delay. That's actually it. This is how it sounds. Really cool stuff. I like to use the delays on these Korg M1 organs because it just adds a little bit more to the groove and it's just really cool. So the next plugin is the Neutron 3 and I'm using the equalizer component, and this is actually because we're going to layer the Korg M1 organ with a bass, a subby bass. So I'm actually rolling off a little bit of the low end from the Korg M1. If we take it out. And this is because I want to have a bass sound that has a little bit of more punch to it. And I don't feel like the bass inside the Korg M1 is powerful enough. So that's why I'm rolling this away and making space for the bass. Okay, so I have two more plugins on the Korg M1 mixer track, and it is the Soothe 2 and the Fruity Limiter. And these two plugins are actually doing sidechaining. And I don't want to go into depth with this technique in this video, but if you want to see how I set up sidechaining using Soothe 2 and the Fruity Limiter, you can go and watch the video up here next. So it's basically making room for the kick drum and making sure that the Korg M1 is not interfering with the kick drum in the lower frequency range. So yeah, just carving out space. So the next element that I added is a bass line, and this is coming from the silent one, and it sounds like this. A really sobby bass. It's a combination of a triangle wave and sawtooth wave with a low pass filter on it with some drive, a little bit of fallback distortion. This is like a really standard sound, nothing crazy to it. But it doesn't have to be crazy because I just want this to be layered underneath the Korg M1 organ. The MIDI pattern is almost the same as the Korg M1. The only thing that I did is that I just put this down 1 octave. And I also routed the bass to a mixer track in FL Studio and added some processing. Here I also added the Neutron 3 with the equalizer. Again, you can use whatever equalizer that you have. I just like to use this one. And I'm just rolling away a lot of upper frequencies because I just want these lower frequencies to push through. You can see this. If I take it off, put it in. It's just to make space for the Korg M1, which is driving this main area up here of the frequency range. So it's the same thing for the bass line. I also added the Soothe 2 and the fruit limiter for sidechaining. We can actually preview what it's doing by using the kick drum together with the bass line and the Korg M1. So take a listen. So it's docking here, it's lower range, and docking some of the transients here. Just to make it pump together with the kick drum. Nice. Okay, so if we preview the Korg M1 together with the bass line, it sounds like this. If I take out the bass, we only have this like mid-range, top range of the Korg M1, but putting the bass in together, we get this more like weight to the low end. I really like it, but I'm thinking like I'm missing something through the Korg M1, and it is some kind of top end noise, some transient to the Korg M1. So I pulled up the Pigments plugin from Arturia. You definitely don't need this plugin. You can use whatever plugin that you have that can generate some kind of noise sound. So I went to the utility engine, found this piano noise, did a little bit of random modulation to the panning. So it's just panning random to the left and right, added a little bit of low pass filtering, and this is the result. Just a small click. I can turn up the volume. So this, just a small transient hit. You could also use like a really short hi-hat sound with a little bit of low pass on it. It's just because the Korg M1 is lacking that small transient in the initial preset that you find in the Korg M1 plugin. Let's try to play this together with the Korg M1. Okay, if I take out the noise, it's lagging a little bit, putting in. Okay, let's play it together with the bass. Turn down the volume a little bit. This is really cool. It just adds a little bit of that top end sparkle to the Korg M1. This Pigment plugin with the noise is also being routed to the same mixer track as the Korg M1 sound, because then it's getting the Replica XT, the EQ from the Neutron 3, and the Soothe 2 and fruit limiter for the sidechaining, because then it feels more as one together with the Korg M1. Okay, so that's how I would create my Korg M1 house organ sounds. I've just prepared a small beat idea so you can hear what we have created in a context with some drums and some other synth elements. So enjoy. Pretty cool. So just to wrap it up, try to layer the Korg M1 Organ 2 preset with a bass, with some kind of top noise synth. You could even also try to layer it with a short plucky sound. I think that's the key to getting a more unique and better result to the Korg M1 is to layer it and process it. It can yield some really cool and creative results that can make you stand out. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I really hope you feel like you're ready to create your own Korg M1 Organ house sounds. If you liked the video, it would mean so much to me if you smash that like button or even subscribe to the channel. And don't forget that you can check out some of my sample packs and preset packs. They're on my web shop and the link is in the description down below. So I hope to see you in the next video. Take care, peace.